Hey loves, welcome to my channel. I am Chantal Gerardi. If you guys are new to this channel or if you're old subscribers, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this video. We are doing the Women in the Bible series. I had initially did it for Women's Month, but as I keep on studying the Bible and I keep reading the Bible, I realized there are so many females in the Bible that were strong, that were amazing, and I just want to share these people with you guys. So we're going to continue with the Women in the Bible series. Today we are going to speak about Rahab. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I hope I'm doing it right. Me and butchering people's names, God forgive me. But yeah, we're talking about Rahab. So just a backstory about Rahab, or just a story about her. She is found in the book of Joshua. So what happens is Joshua sends out two people to go into the land of Jericho to just scope it out, look at it, see how people move, see how the land works. So they go to Jericho, and Rahab is the one who houses them. She is their hostess. So what happens is two people find out, and then they take word to the king that there are two spies that have come into the country, that have come into our land, and they are looking at all our weaknesses, and they knew that they had gone to Rahab's inn. So the king sends a message or word to Rahab and says, if you are holding these people, please let them go. They are here to spy on our land. So Rahab is like, they were here, but they have left. So you guys, if you go out and you look for them outside the city, you might find them or you might catch them, but they have left. So Rahab was still holding these two men in her inn. They were upstairs near the bales of hay, I think, that she kept. So the soldiers go out and they leave the country to go scope out, like, I think, the periphery of the land, and they go to look for these guys. So Rahab then goes upstairs, and then she starts speaking to these guys, and she tells them, I know that your God is powerful. I know the things that he has done for Israel. I know how he has delivered you, and I know that this land belongs to you. I know all of these things, and I would like to say I will protect you, and I will give you shelter for the coming days if you guys agree to protect me and my family and my brothers, my father, my siblings, essentially. And these men agree to this. So Rahab was committing treason. That's the first thing. She was committing treason by housing these spies. And second of all, she knew the power that the Israel's God had. It was unimaginable power. It was power like no other. All the gods that she knew about did not have such power. She spoke about how she was very knowledgeable about how he had dried up the Red Sea, parted the Red Sea for them, how he had done all these miracles just to deliver them from Egypt. So you can read about this in Joshua chapter 2 is all about that. So the first lesson that we can learn from Rahab is that knowledge is power. Knowledge is truly power. Make that a prayer point of yours, to be knowledgeable, to be open to learning, to be open to receiving wisdom. Rahab's knowledge of how great and powerful God was, how great Israel's God was, our God, delivered her and saved her. She just knew just how amazing he was, and she also knew that other gods that people praised and worshipped were not as strong. Her knowledge made her strike a deal for her and her family to be saved. So having knowledge opens doors of opportunity for you. It saves you from a lot of things. It just gives you an added advantage. So always be seeking for knowledge, always be seeking for wisdom, always be seeking to learn. That's the first lesson that we can learn from Rahab. The second lesson that we can learn from Rahab is that you have to be smart. Rahab was smart enough to know, I have this knowledge, I have this information, but what can I do with it? Yes, I can save my family. So Rahab was smart in the sense that with all the knowledge that she had, she was able to use it to her advantage to save her family. So always be smart about things. When you are in a situation, you have knowledge, you have all this information, just be smart enough to know, how can I make this work for me? How can I make this situation work for me? This situation was basically the doomsday of Jericho. But she's from Jericho, so she could have been part of the doomsday. She could have been in a bad situation, but she was like, how can this work for me, and how can I make this how can I make this work? So first lesson is be knowledgeable, always seek for wisdom, always seek for learning, be open to learning. The second one is be smart about the knowledge that you have, be smart about the information that you have. The third lesson that you can learn from Rahab is to be courageous. Be courageous in the things that set your heart on fire. Be courageous in the things that you want. Always have courage to speak up. If you have something that you want to say, if you have something that you want, speak up. Be brave. Be courageous enough to speak up about it. She was a woman of great courage. She was a woman of great insight, and she was a woman who used these to her advantage. So we can learn a lot from Rahab. And the last lesson that I have, I think is essentially the most important one, is when I mentioned earlier in the video, she was a prostitute, she was a harlot. But this did not deter her from knowing God. This did not deter her from knowing just how powerful God was. This did not deter her from striking a deal with God. All of us have sins. All of us have a past. All of us have things that we are not too proud of, but do not let those things stop you from seeking God. Do not let those things stop you from knowing God. Do not let those things stop you from doing whatever you want to do. You may say, oh, I did this in the past. That does not stop you from being renewed today. This does not stop you from renewing your mind. You can have circumstances and background. You can come from things that are not so, things that you're not proud of, or things that you feel like people will judge you upon. It does not matter. God loves you. God favors you. His mercies and grace are renewed with each and every day. And use this to your advantage. Use this to know God. Use this to live a life full of purpose and fulfillment. So being a prostitute did not deter Rahab from anything. This did not deter her from knowing how powerful God was. And this did not deter her from being or desiring to be in his presence, or using her knowledge about God to be able to save her and her family. So I feel like this is the most important part. We all have things that we're not proud of. We all have things that we shy away from speaking about, or we have certain personality traits or certain background knowledge that we feel like, oh, if people knew this, people would not receive us well. It doesn't matter. It's only about you and your God, and that is all that matters. So even her being a prostitute, she was in the lineage of King David. She was in the lineage of Jesus Christ. She bore Boaz. So imagine that powerful nations, King of Kings, came from her lineage, came from her family tree. So no matter what you do, no matter who you are, you can be upgraded. I don't know if upgraded is the right word, but you can be lifted up by God's grace. You can be lifted up by God's favor. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter what people or society thinks about you. God will use that, and he will make you shine with that. So I hope you guys learned a lot from Rahab. Be courageous, be smart, be insightful, be knowledgeable, seek knowledge, seek out learning, seek out wisdom, and God will favor you, and God will put grace upon your life. And it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what you do, God loves you, and God will use that to uplift you and to just turn your life around. So you can actually be in the lineage of the King of Kings. You can be in the lineage of King David. Who knows? God knows, and he knows the plans that he has for your life, and they are to prosper you and to make you successful. So I hope that you guys learned something from Rahab just as much as I did, and I hope you guys take courage as we go into the new week and you seize what you want and you seek out knowledge. With that, my loves, I say be kind to one another and love and light.